vaccines. Now, I know some of y'all's anti-vax. Let me just say this real quick. And I know y'all not 100% anti-vax, but y'all have the concerns of, the FDA full approval, the process was rushed, et cetera. I understand that. And I feel as though I have been a bit harsh with some of y'all who have been determined not to get vaccinated or perhaps reluctant. Y'all, I get it. I don't trust the government either. I don't trust the FDA either. I'm old enough to remember Fin. Girls and boys, do y'all remember Fin? In the 90s, the FDA approved this weight loss drug that was fucking up people's hearts. They had to recall it. The FDA, is not necessarily always on the correct side of health. They err a lot on the, side of the pharmaceutical companies. I understand all that, guys. But at the end of the day, capitalism knows that you got to pay that rent. Capitalism knows that you still owe money on that car, and capitalism wants your ass to show up to work. So capitalism is going to ensure that this particular vaccine is going to do its thug thizzle. And what I'm concerned about is that, again, not enough people are getting vaccinated at a rate sufficient enough to keep up with the virus's variants. And that's where I'm concerned. So if you had been waiting on that FDA approval, well, goddamn it, it is here. So please make haste to get to somewhere and get a shot, because I have no skin in the game with Pfizer, Moderna. I don't even have 401k. I don't fuck around with investing. I'm saying that to say I don't care what Pfizer and Moderna do as companies. I'm concerned about you and yours. So if you have not yet gotten vaccinated, please, pretty please think about it, consider it, because the Delta is jumping on people, y'all, and it's not cute. It's not cute. We are back to rocking at 1,000 deaths a day from COVID. And I'm not exactly sure who is dying. I'm not sure if it's Black and brown people dying at the same rates as they were, say this time last year, but it's all ugly. And I don't want y'all to be in the ugliness. And FYI, my family member I've been telling y'all about, my 88-year-old family member who was unvaccinated and still contracted COVID, remains asymptomatic, thank God, but they are not able to get vaccinated because they continue to test positive. So I'm just sharing. But Sunday, there's a lot going on here. Let's start with the governors. Let's do this. Tunde, if you could please pop up B1 for me, please, okay? So this was tweeted out in the past 24 hours. The governor of South Dakota, Kristi Noem, oh my God, what a butthead. We don't like her. She's not nice to the indigenous people up there in South Dakota, and she don't seem to be all that bright. But you know what? Intelligence, miraculously, is not a requisite for conservatives to get behind an elected official. And this is what Governor Kristi Noem tweeted out yesterday. She said, if Joe Biden illegally mandates vaccines, I will take every action under the law to protect South Dakotans from the federal government. What in the fuck does that mean, Kristi? I don't know if Biden can mandate vaccines for everybody. I know that businesses are beginning to mandate vaccines for their employees. I know the U.S. military, in the form of the Pentagon has now said all active duty members must receive a vaccination. I think this is going to be a very interesting showdown or standoff between those who refuse to get vaccinated in the military specifically and those who don't. Tunde, if you could, so that's South Dakota. So let me just lead off with the governors. If you could pop up B2 for me, please, sir. This
it's up to the Democrats to get, just as it's up to Republicans.
Oh, what happened? What was that? B2 should be a tweet. Oh, okay. B2, you guys, come from Tennessee Governor Bill Lee. We have any Tennesseans in the house? Bill Lee put this executive order out last week, I believe, but this is what the tweet says. He says, no one cares more about the health and well-being of a child than a parent. I'm signing an executive order today that allows parents to opt their children out of a school mask mandate if either a school board or a health board enacts one over a district. Okay. executive order by the governor allowing parents to say freedom. We have the freedom to spread COVID to everyone else in our community. You can't make us wear no mask, Joe Biden. Anyway, B3 young man, please, please, please. Here's what's happening in Florida, everybody. Florida, this is from WISH TV, WISH TV. Florida's power struggle over wearing masks in school to guard against coronavirus infection landed before a judge considering a lawsuit that challenges Governor Ron DeSantis' order reserving the mask decision for parents. Yes, parents have said, what are you, crazy? Parents have filed lawsuits against DeSantis. They were having hearings about this today. I'll bring the update to you on Friday about how that goes. I'm hoping that, common sense will prevail. I can't quite understand why these specific to Republican governors are determined to kill their constituents, to kill the kids, and not even their constituents, guys, because we, Black and brown people, marginalized communities, regardless, we are still the most vulnerable and most susceptible to COVID going bad for us, right? So if there's a whole bunch of people out here not vaccinated, I'm looking at you, white people. I know there's plenty of non-white people out here not vaccinated too, but I'm looking at you, white people, because y'all got good insurance. Us, we don't always have good insurance, okay? Guaranteed. I won't say guaranteed. I know there's poor white people out here. You guys know I'm just being facetious a little bit, but not really. I hope DeSantis is defeated in court by this. But speaking of white people, one white person of some import from the state of Texas, the Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, this son bitch went on Fox News, of course. And that's not the first time this nigga has got up here and talked extra crazy about COVID, right? If you recall, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick from Texas last year was the one who announced to Fox News audience that, Grandma, you've lived your life. If you got to sacrifice your life for the economy, then that just might what needs to happen, right? I'm paraphrasing, but that is absolutely the general gist and principle of what he said, Dan Patrick, right? Well, Dan Patrick got on Fox News. I guess he just go on Fox News and talk crazy, whatever he want to. Dan Patrick got on Fox News and talked crazy, except this time he did what I like to do, except in reverse. I blame white people for most things. He did what I do in reverse. He got on here and blamed Black people for the low vaccination rates. I want you guys to check out this package from KVUE in Texas, breaking down the Lieutenant Governor. Let me rephrase. Let me say it again. The Lieutenant Governor of Texas got on national television and said this. Tune in,
Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick has people all across the country talking after comments he made on Fox News last night.
Take a listen.
The increased COVID numbers, hospitalizations, deaths are up in Texas, and there's a direct assault on your governor's policies and your state's policies. Very brief response.
Yeah. Well, Laura, the COVID is spreading, particularly most of the numbers are with the unvaccinated, and the Democrats like to blame Republicans on that. Well, the biggest group in most states are African Americans who have not been vaccinated. The last time I checked, over 90% of them vote for Democrats in their major cities and major counties. So it's up to the Democrats to get, just as it's up to Republicans, to try to get as many people vaccinated. But we respect the fact that if people don't want the vaccination, we're not going to force it on them. That's their individual right.
Now, of course, a lot to digest there, so let's look into the claim that Black people are the biggest group that is unvaccinated. According to the Kaiser Family Foundation, only 40 states report vaccines by race. Among those that do, yes, Black people have the lowest vaccination rate at 40% compared to 50% for white people. But Black people only make up 12% of the American population. So for every one unvaccinated Black person in the United States, states, there are about 4 unvaccinated white Americans, so not the biggest group.
And if we look at Texas, we decided to cross-reference 2020 census data and data from the Department of State Health Services. Of the roughly 3.4 million black people in Texas, 2.4 million are unvaccinated. But of the 11.5 million white people in Texas, 6.8 million are unvaccinated. Now, keep in mind, not everyone is eligible to get a vaccine, but roughly for every 1 black Texan who isn't vaccinated, there are 3 white unvaccinated Texans. So again, black people are not the biggest group.
Now listen. Us black folks, us Africans in America, we are quite accustomed to being thrown under the bus for most things, right? Gun violence, drugs, blame the Negroes. Yes. Okay. No, sir. What you would not going to do is blame black people for not being vaccinated. And again, I'm very appreciative of, the very simple way that KVUE right there broke down some math. Because I know as Americans, math is not our strongest subject universally, right? Nobody in America can do math except mathematicians, and there's not many of them, right? So I'm glad they put into perspective that if a lot of black people are not vaccinated, it honestly does not compare to the amount of unvaccinated white folks. And then again, we have to always bear in mind that children under the age of 12 are not eligible to be vaccinated. So we're talking about a big chunk of folks when we're talking about kids under 12. And 10 states, according to that report, don't even track vaccination rates via race. So we are, still missing some information and some data and all that. But did you see the confidence in which Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick confidently blamed black people and then circle back and say, well, we don't force vaccinations on our people, Republicans. It's a choice. It's a personal choice. Okay, then why are you blaming black people then? If it's a personal choice, isn't it black people's personal choice? Even though I don't agree with that, but I'm just trying to make the argument or circular reasoning that fucking Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick be talking. I'm please, everybody, keep our friends in Texas prayed up, because if you think that you live in crazy town in your state, I assure you, Texas and Florida and Missouri are crazier as shit. Okay, way crazier than wherever you think you are. Texas, Florida, and Missouri are way crazier than that. And fuck it, California too. We're gonna throw California in the mix because California, they wild out. The right whites are wilding in California. So guys, I'm gonna say it again. If you have not yet gotten vaccinated, consider it, please. Would you please give it some thoughts, some careful consideration? Because y'all, here's the problem. We are probably going to see COVID rates rocking like they was this time last year. The only difference is ain't shit going to shut down, right? And then there ain't no more lockdowns. Forget it. Ain't no more stimulus checks coming. No more government assistance coming. Okay, it's not going to happen. Joe Biden, the capitalists are like, listen, we gave y'all a vaccine. You still got to show up to work at 9:00 and school on time for in-person learning. The United States and the capitalist powers that be are not going to shut this country back down again, no matter what. And that's going to have a ripple effect unquestionably on our healthcare system and on the people that are working right now in these ICUs, in these hospitals where beds are filling up with people dying of COVID. I don't think the fall looks all that great. I think schools are probably going to end up shutting down as we're seeing schools reopen. Some places are masking, some places are not masking. Like, that's very problematic. For example, I know in Virginia, Governor Northam mandated masks indoors for schools. However, in Michigan, Governor Whitmer, a Democrat, is not mandating masks. I'm not sure if Michigan school districts are doing this like district by district. I need to look into that. Schultz 100, what's going on? Which one of y'all is in Michigan and Detroit? Is it you? Was it Schultz? It was somebody. But Governor Whitmer I think she's afraid of the anti-maskers because, they threatened to kidnap her ass last year. She's like, you know what? I'm not going to make these people do nothing, actually, because these people know where I live. And these people have made it very clear that they will come and get me. And so, you know what? Anti-maskers, y'all don't have to wear the mask. Your kids don't have to wear the mask. It's cool. I'm very concerned. And I'm sorry. And perhaps, hopefully, in the coming weeks, I will not be talking about COVID. But again, y'all, COVID scares me. It really does. I am afraid of catching COVID at all. I'm afraid for your children to catch COVID. I am afraid about the long haulers who have been dealing with COVID for months and months and months now. I am worried. I think COVID is an imminent healthcare crisis. As we have seen, it has killed over 600,000 Americans. That is what the official number is. I actually think that it's probably killed over 1 million people because a lot of places went undercounted. Andrew Cuomo's ass in New York was undercounting the people dying in the nursing homes. Think about all the places, Florida as one of those examples, that were probably drastically undercounting COVID deaths, right? So my estimation is that we probably lost over 1 million people since this COVID pandemic began. And it's not done, y'all. And we don't know what it's going to do to the kids. And we just have to be fucking careful. So please, 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 please. I have nothing to gain from this except knowing that y'all still are alive and walking the planet and breathing the free air. Well, semi-free air. The air in America ain't all free, but semi-free air here in the Los Estados Unidos. So please, just do what you can, okay? I'm going to turn...